Welcome to his Investors Insights, where today's topic is December to Remember, ? A lot to cover today. We hope that everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Before I talk about 5 important themes that we're watching to finish the year, Ty, I want you to cover a good thing about seasonality, especially going into December. No guarantees as always, but I think our viewers will like to hear from you on what December brings in terms of the market.
Yeah, thanks. As you mentioned, past data doesn't mean that it's going to happen in the future, but one thing that we always like to cover, especially on the technical side, is looking at some charts of how the stock market typically works throughout a given year. And so I have a chart here that I'll show, and it shows kind of the market leading up to Thanksgiving, and then in the middle between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then after that fact. And so it's not uncommon that here in early December, we kind of get a little bit of a lull, and then you hear that Santa Claus rally. That's near the end of, and at the end of December, getting towards Christmas. And that's when you see the stock market typically pick up. And again, that doesn't mean it's going to happen this year, but traditionally speaking, seasonality wise, we're in the middle of the best 3-month calendar stretch for the stock market. And then to kind of go on to a little deeper, it's an election year. And so what happens during election year? December is up, the majority of the time. It's up 83% of the time in an election year, which is tied for the highest mark. And on average, it's up about 1.3% for the month. And so we got some good seasonality coming into the end of the year here, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, Ty, hopefully we'll get what we call a Santa Claus rally here to finish the year. We'll see. But now I want to talk about 5 important themes that the market has in its favor going into the last few weeks of 2024. So these 5 things will help us finish a good year for the markets if they continue or hold. First, supply chains are in great shape heading into the holidays. You can see in this first chart, pressure on supply chains are below average, especially compared to recent years. This should keep inflation in check as consumer spending increases this time of year and helps companies keep costs down while being able to better manage inventories. The second theme I want to talk about is we're starting to see a glimmer of hope in the housing market as housing affordability improved last month. You can see in this chart that growth in the median income is the driving force here. So as wages and income start to outpace inflation, the housing sector should improve. The third theme is we're starting to see increased traffic of prospective home buyers. In fact, as you can see in this chart, home builders recently upgraded their 6-month outlook on residential real estate. We're starting to see the benefits of the Fed cutting interest rates with new buyers emerging. The fourth theme is, as I mentioned previously, the Federal Reserve rate cuts should continue in 2025, with benefits starting to show up in the next few weeks with increased consumer confidence. The fifth and the last theme we're watching carefully is, in the last few weeks of 2024, is lower inflation. So this ties back to housing. It ties back to the Federal Reserve. Hopefully, the Federal Reserve will start seeing inflation at low enough levels that they will continue their rate cutting path in 2025. So we'll be watching carefully to see if this is a December to remember. And as always, if you have any questions, please call or email us. And we hope that everyone is enjoying this holiday season. Thanks.